games in that cluster of players. You will see some of the new faces tonight that will take St George Illawarra into the new era. Some of the vacant seats you're seeing have probably been vacated by people just escaping some of the rain and lightning. And now what an honour for Adam Muir. He takes South Sydney out, a team made up of players from all over the league. From Melbourne, their halfback, Brad Watts. From Cronulla, 5 players, 6 if you count Russell Richardson. And there's the coach, another who worked so hard to get South Sydney back as a rugby league entity again. Fantastic scenes, and those young South Sydney players, they don't look too nervous to me. They look like they're enjoying it already. Let's have a look at the cards.
Yes, it's a brand new South team. All of these players played at other clubs last year. Wade McKinnon's the fullback, Mostyn and Gross on the wings, King and Sinclair in the centres. Craigie plays 5'8". Brad Watts is the half. Rigon, former Rooster at lock forward. Hart and Muir in the back row. Grief and Stringer. Deep is the hooker, and the interchange there. Pulatul, McGilvray, McNicholas. He's a former South player. He's back with them. Stuart Fitzgerald, Blaine Stanley and Adam Peake, coached by Craig Coleman.
And for St George Illawarra, Simmons is fullback, Blacklock and Cooper the wingers, Mark Gasnier and Hookie in the centres, Trent Barrett is the 5'8" and captain. He partners Willie Peters. Cooper locks the scrum behind Smith and Thompson, and up front Bailey, Riddell and Riles. Off the bench, Leichvold, Kerr, Kite, Garrell, Donnelly, Hornby and Katavarata, coached by Andrew Farrell.
So that takes us to the national anthem for tonight, and it'll be performed in just a short while by Leah Purcell. Of course, there's a great South Sydney name, and of course the sad loss of one of the great South Sydney players and coaches, Bernie, in more recent times. The national anthem of Australia at the Charity Shield that welcomes back the Rabbitohs. To the national anthem. Andrew Voss is with Sean Garlick, and they are on the sidelines right now.
Oh, Ray, we'll do some big nights this year. I don't know whether any will be as big as this, though. A man who's jumping out of my skin, Sean Garlick, now the football manager of the Rabbitohs. You've just come out of the dressing rooms. How are the players?
You wouldn't believe it, Vossi. We've just had a call from Russell Crowe, our number 1 supporter. He's in Rome. He's rang on the mobile to say he's arranged for a live telecast through satellite to be hooked up there. Mate, just amazing support. What a great night. A man who's been through some big games, probably none bigger than this one, even though it's a trial. John, how do you feel?
It's marvellous, Sean. It's like the 65 grand final we played in. The atmosphere was very similar. It's a marvellous thing for rugby league. It is really marvellous. I'm glad the South's a part of doing it.
Let's enjoy it, eh?
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for coming to the sideline, John Sattler. Another big night it is for a young bloke who's out there in the middle of the moment. Michael Avenin, 14 years of age. Last May he was diagnosed with leukemia, but just as the Rabbitohs have fought the fight, so too is Michael. He is now in remission and he's 100% fit, and here on the night of nights for the South Sydney club. Now, Ray, we do have to begin the night on a sombre note with a minute's silence for the passing during the off-season of one of the greats of South Sydney, Bernie Purcell, He died late last year, aged 73, 173 first-grade games he played, and I know that the thoughts of all the Rabbitohs supporters are here tonight for the family and friends of the late Bernie Purcell.
Well, Paul Simpkins has blown time on.
One, stand up. Mark square, hold it, hold it.
And that misdemeanor will be
Let's do.
obviously corrected
Hands up.
as this evening unwinds. This is Bailey
Clear him.
playing front row with Riles. 4 Australian representatives in the St George Illawarra team.
Stand up, Marcus.
Talking of Riles, that is him. Made the Kangaroo tour only about 12 months after he actually debuted in first grade. Ball down the back to the South's fullback, Wade McKinnon.
Lay one.
Came to South from Parramatta. And there's a lost ball. There's a chance on here. The Dragons Riddell.
Let him up. Hands off.
South Sydney immediately under siege. Through to Peters. A wide play for Barrett. Even wider they go. Fullback in Simmons. 8 metres away for Gasnier. Playing in front of his uncle, who was honoured here earlier tonight. And now it's away for Lance Thompson, a little dummy, and takes the tackle. 5 metres out, and a test for the red and green defence as Barrett puts it flat. Riles is tackled. Away it comes on the short side, and a chance here for Cooper.
Clear him up.
In a touch.
Well, that was a big test for South Sydney, and some great tackles in there on a couple of occasions. Firstly from Shane Rigon, then the halfback Brad Watts, and finally by the winger Damien Mostyn. He actually made the mistake giving possession to the opposition, so he'll be very relieved that he was able to save his side on this occasion late in the count.
They ran hard.
So a penalty goes to South Sydney. It's against the back rower from St George Illawarra, not packing.
Ball's not in there.
Barrett just asking the question of Simpkins. For the Rabbitohs. Off the hook early. Stringer
Hands off.
from the Eagles. Deep. And now Watts using Grief.
That's 2. Stand up.
Glenn,
Mark
of course,
square. Hold.
from the Knights. Grand final experience. Now the captain, Muir.
10.
Centre ground, 40 metres out. To the right for Brad Watts.
4.
Played most of his junior football in the number 7 jumper. We didn't see him in it with the Melbourne club all that often.
With the leg.
Jason Deeth. And now they come on the short side for Craigie. That ball is high and far too deep. Breeze gusting around Aussie Stadium.
Well, they've got plenty to go forward, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Big fellow Paul Stringer played very well last year for the Northern Eagles. He suffered a back injury late. He's had plenty of time off. He looks big and strong and fit. Also, of course, Glenn Grief, been around for quite a while. They'll provide plenty to go forward.
That's Hookie. Interesting player, Lee Hookie, as they get a penalty. St George Illawarra. He was in the South Sydney side at the end of 1999. He's now in the red and white colours. The only South Sydney player that was there back in 1999 in tonight's squad is Paul McNicholas from Cronulla back to South for the reunion. Jason Riles, flick pass out the back. How good was that? Smith is number 11 for the Dragons.
He's really going to benefit from being part of the Test series in England the end of last year. Jason Riles, wonderful talent. You saw evidence of it there.
Bailey it was who took the next play. Peters. Well, it's come off the St George Illawarra player, and it's play on for Craigie and for South Sydney. 37 metres out from their own line. This is Shane Rigon, formerly with the Roosters. 2 errors for the Dragons, 1 for the Rabbits. No score on the board. The Star City Charity Shield for 2002. And welcome back, Rabbitohs. Stringer Match being played in front of an audience of around, I suppose, 36,000. Sydney hit with some fairly heavy storms in the hour or two leading up to the game. The 11 for South Sydney is Andrew Hart, formerly from St George. To the air goes Watts. A high ball, and well taken. Reece Simmons, 2 years ago, was Jersey Flag Player of the Year, and last year, First Division Player of the Year. That was a marvellous take. He's filling in tonight for Amos Roberts.
It was a great take. He's only a little fellow, but he got up high, didn't he? He scored 2 tries in last year's grand final in First Division. And Andrew Farrow's given him a go tonight. That's great stuff.
Henry King did very well there also, the man in number 21. He didn't tackle the fullback as he was catching the football. That would have been a penalty, and that enabled his side to push McKinnon back, push Simmons back into the in-goal area for that line dropout.
Barrett then with this line dropout that is fielded by McKinnon, and then he gives it away to second row forward Adam Muir, who's got, as I said, that honour of leading the South Sydney side. One of the foundation rugby league clubs, South Sydney. They were the third club to be formed after Glebe and Newtown back in 1908. From Watts it's gone to Craigie, and Craigie will be made to play the ball 21 metres away from the St George Illawarra line. Plays it back to Jason Deeth, who goes away and finds Andrew Hart. He turns it back on the inside for Jason Sinclair. Then it's Jason Deeth who knocks on. It's an advantage rule, and it's Lee Hookey who will play the ball for St George. Now this is Cooper. Matt Cooper playing on the left wing. And Simmons is up from fullback. Likes to get into the action. Bailey has gone up to dummy half, and then he's been ordered out of the row by Riddell. Barrett. Not sure about that breeze, just what it's doing. I'll just check it with Andrew in a moment. Things were happening lickety-split there before kickoff. That is Gross, one of the players from Cronulla. I think I pointed out there are 5 in the match tonight, and then when you add Russell Richardson, there are 6 Cronulla players here.
Well, I gave Jason Riles a rap a moment ago. Tremendous chase there from Luke Bailey, the front row, making the tackle on the winger after the kick from Trent Barrett. South Sydney now working out for their own end.
Rigon, not much of him. In fact, I came to training yesterday at South and did the same at St George on Thursday. I was absolutely shocked at really how small Shane Rigon is, with the amount of heavy work that he gets through. Brad Watts with that lovely right foot kick, and finding one of the superstars of rugby league, one of our most recent kangaroos, Nathan Blacklock. Plays it back on the 30-metre line, and here goes a run for the fullback again. Reece Simmons. Busy, isn't he? Now Thompson links up with Peters and takes it to the halfway line. Gasnier coming in, but Riddell, like a traffic cop, pushing players out of the road. Barrett uses Riles. Riles looks for front row partner Bailey, who is held in very high regard at St George Illawarra. Bailey. Some think that he's at least the equal of Riles. Here's Blacklock, standing and unloading on the 30. Hooper got it away. Smith is with the ball. Hookey's gone inside. Rushed away from Craigie. Took it 12 metres out from the line. Play by Hookey, back for Cooper. Cooper on for Peters. Peters for Barrett. Barrett to the 10-metre line. It's a kick that goes across the ground, and then Gasnier is taken, and the ball goes over the sideline. This little question, because he's an attacking player, that rule would not apply. Tackling players in mid-air doesn't apply to attacking teams.
There's an Andrew Johns type kick. This one, of course, Trent Barrett's got all the skills. Had a great tour in England at the end of last year. Just on Luke Bailey, I was in the tunnel with him before. The two of us, Finnegan, couldn't fit side by side in the tunnel. He's that big.
No, I was going to say, you have put a bit of...
He's huge.
You've put a bit on yourself, though, by the same token.
He's actually a little bloke. I think it's more a reflection on somebody else.
So Andrew on the sideline. Firstly, Andrew, that breeze, what is it doing as an advantage to these two sides?
Well, Ray, if anything, it's actually at the backs of the Rabbitohs in this first half. I should mention how humid it is. Even though we had a late afternoon storm, which certainly dropped the temperature, it is still very, very humid. So keep that in account. This is their first game of the year, and you've got those sticky conditions as well, so we can probably excuse a few handling errors tonight. It is unlimited interchange, though, as well, to compensate for that.
McKinnon's pass has gone backwards. It'll be play on. Watch. playing it just outside the 20-metre line. Craigie drifting across and then turning Rigon back, running an angle back towards the centre. Plays it on the 20-metre line in from touch. And here's Andrew Hart. Close to the line. All of 5 metres out. Craigie unloading. Now it is Glenn Grief who gets the ball away for Hart to give it away. Mostyn goes back towards the middle. And St George Illawarra really defending hard on the last tackle. Craigie's kick right across the ground towards Brent Gross. Was he onside? Takes the ball. It will be a turnover. He got it away. He got it away. No. The referee has ruled that it's gone forward.
Looks like you got a call over there from the touch judge. Not a popular decision
Stand up.
in front of all the South Sydney fans. I'm just wondering what he did rule. Did he go on to touch? Ball comes loose, flicked up. Yes, his right foot into touch. Well done by that particular touch judge in spotting that one. Now there's a break.
It is
Riddell.
the hooker. Sustained run up the middle by the number 9. Peters for Barrett. Barrett away. Oh, it's gone down. Round the bootlaces.
Hand forward.
Well, that was a good ball too. Good ball from Trent Barrett. Just had to be taken. There was numbers on the outside. Here's the break. Lance Thompson. The ball goes loose. He's always had some toe as Mark Riddell brushed aside his opposing number in Jason Deep. And we'll see that all year from Riddell. Good over 40 metres. And this ball here just had to be taken. Look at the numbers outside.
Move in, pull out. Go in, lock in. Stay in. Now.
Dragons almost coming up with a scrum win against the feed. Now, this is Andrew King. He's playing in jumper 21.
Interesting, Ray, to see how both coaches approach this game. They'd like to get their players as much game time as possible as Jason Sinclair gets an inside ball to Owen Craigie. Well, they've got plenty of players at their disposal. Another mistake from South Sydney. Sees the Dragons come up with the football inside their own half. Mark Gasnier now. Big step tries to beat Rigon, can't do so. Adam Muir over the top.
Blacklock it is, who from dummy half finds Jason Riles. Back for Riddell. Now for Bailey, and Bailey goes to the 30-metre line where he's pulled down around the bootlaces by Brad Watts. Over the top was Craigie. They come to the left now for Peters. Nice ball back on the inside for Thompson. Smith almost got in the road. It could have been a Shepherd. Now the kick with pinpoint accuracy, but suddenly there were no red and white jumpers there. No contest by the Dragons, and Gross, now a penalty, has gone to South Sydney.
I'm not quite sure how much that ball is swirling out there, but watch Nathan Blacklock on the far side. He comes in field and he misses it by 5 metres.
Like he's at training doing a run through. Never got near it.
Penalties favouring the Rabbitohs, 3-1. The stringer is put down under the shoulder of Riles and Bailey. Watts again. Now for Muir, up the middle, looking for runners. Couldn't get a clean catch on it. Knock on ruled. And St George Illawarra will have the loose head and scrum just on the South Sydney side of halfway.
This has always been Adam Muir's go, whether he's been at Newcastle or the Northern Eagles. He loves to run back on the inside and loves to offload. That on that occasion, it didn't come off, but he's certainly a player to follow.
Just as a mark of the interest centering on this return from South Sydney, this match is going live into the United Kingdom, and we welcome our viewers through Sky Sports emanating out of London. Blacklock, there's some changing going on for the Dragons. Likevol has gone on in 14. Big lump of a boy. Bailey, 20 metres out from the south line. feels good to be calling them again. One of the great players. Blacklock putting it down. Rabbits coming away with it. And McKinnon with a good run, ending 25 metres out from his own line.
He's had a good game tonight, the custodian for South Sydney, Wade McKinnon. Plenty of metres. To point out a few changes out there now. Chris Lightboy shows how much experience they've lost. He's the oldest player in their squad this evening at just 26 years of age. Good move there by Hooper.
Cooper now. 18 metres out from the line. It came from a great tackle from Barrett on Sinclair, and that's put them on the attack. Here's Hooper. 5 metres out from the South Sydney line. It's gone from Gould to Barrett, and Barrett away for Peters, and Peters on for Simmons. Simmons for Gaznia, and Gaznia will play it. 8 metres out. Blacklock. Thompson holding it back, looking for a runner. They come in from the back. Simmons for Barrett. Barrett's kick came off a South player. Didn't play at the ball. He won't restart the tackle count. Back goes the fullback Simmons, and he'll play the ball 15 metres out from the South line. Now from Gould. Back for Bailey. Bailey for Smith. Pops it up, but Souths have got it, lost it.
Yeah, some good stuff there by the Dragons, and ruling that pass went forward. Throwing the ball around, they're finding a few holes. Game's been going about 20 minutes now. Some players will be starting to get tired, no doubt about it. It is still February. Not fully wound up players. That ball drifting forward.
Another scrum close to the Rabbitohs line. 14 for Souths. Frank Pullatour from the Panthers about to come on, and that's Paul Stringer coming on. Rigon. There's another change. Glenn Grief is off, as Paul Horton said. Some of them starting to show signs of early season fatigue as Muir uses Jason Deeth, and Deeth scurries out to the 30-metre line, just easing the pressure a little bit. That's Pullatour, isn't it?
I think Duncan McGilvray's also out there now, Ray.
You're right, that's him in the green headgear. McGilvray it was that took that play forward. Simmons this time. Rushing away, a would-be tackle from Rigon, taken eventually by Craigie, and to the right they go, with Gaznia taken by the markers. Craigie working hard in the middle. Thompson. George Illawarra looking the more threatening. Could have been a couple of trials. Weichwald picked up and driven into the ground. Legitimate tackle, hard from Hart. Now Barrett. There was some suggestions that he mightn't play in the opening exchanges. That is Kite.
Ball back, hold Owen.
Peters now. High. Breeze blowing it back. And Blacklock's gone for an air swing. Peters has got it away. On the ground from Gould. Picked up by the Rabbits. Rigon has got the ball on the 20-metre line. Own end of the field. Gross.
Work it back, here it is.
Rebunched now, South Sydney. This is where they need to dig a little bit deep. They've been under pressure for the last 5 or 6 minutes as Jason Deeth gets a well-earned break. Andrew Hart on the short side picks up some valuable metres.
Mark it square. Hold it,
Starting to look a little bit tired. No surprise, Craig Coleman getting plenty of new faces out there.
Muir doing what he does so well. Now McKinnon. Oh dear. Andrew King just overran the flight of the ball. And he's not happy with himself.
He might have made a mistake there, but I've got a wrap on Andrew King. I think he's a very talented player. Came in tonight after Russell Richardson was ruled out through injury. And I think he'll be of great utility value. If he doesn't cement a spot in the centres, can certainly go back to fullback.
Yeah, it's hard to work out, having watched him for a few years, Pete, at the Gold Coast and also Manly and the Eagles last year, whether he's a fullback or a centre. It's probably half and half he's played in his career in both of those spots. Personally, I think he's a very, very good fullback. He's a great defender in that last-ditch defence.
So the Dragons taking down to the 40-metre line, South Sydney's end, and played there by the number 16 for them, that is Brent Kite.
Pass went forward, but gee, it was a great take. Big man Luke Bailey. We won't want many of those through the season. On the chest, please, dummy half. Well, in fact, he did knock on, but big effort. In the front row, I think, is going to match Riles this year. I think they're very strong up front.
Craigie. And down at the feet of McKinnon, gave him no chance at all, and swept on by Blacklock. Gasnier tackled by the marker. Blacklock offloading for Barrett. Barrett to Bailey. And Bailey charging up to the 20-metre line. Played back to Peters now. Was going left, went right, up the middle like Bowl. Now for Kite. Product of that very good rugby league college down in Canberra, Erindale. Then from Peters, this man is Barrett, and Barrett gets it away, but it's forward. They're not meant to score, the Dragons.
Yeah, the referee right in line. The Dragons fans now not happy. And Barrett, when he runs to the line, can draw players, always dangerous. And Jason Hooper denied a try.
22nd minute of the game, and still no score.
Again, get in the tunnel.
Those of you that have had a little something on the Rabbitohs, I'm sure you've had your hearts in your mouth.
Hands up.
On a few occasions.
That's two, clear him. Back and
Adam
hold.
Peake
Wait.
is the son of John, who played with Canterbury mainly. I think John did play with South Sydney though at one stage.
That's three. Back and hold.
That's him again. Now, this is McGilvray, one of a couple of players to come down from Penrith.
Mark square.
Pullatua the other. Muir unloading for half. And waiting for him was
Stand up off him.
the lock forward Hooper. He wants that number 13 jumper this year. Very much so, Jason Hooper. You recall that he was used a lot as a number 7 last year when they had some problems.
Your place to come back. Wait for the onside. Wait for Luke.
No score at the 23rd minute now.
You ready?
And as I said earlier, a big welcome to our audience taking this match as a mark of
Hands up him.
the interest being exhibited in England at the return of South Sydney. Hooper, 40 metres out from his own line. Barrett. It's Thompson just angling it back, straightening up the attack as Barrett went across the park. Now Barrett again. For a bloke that wasn't going to play, he's horribly busy. And that ball went forward off the Dragons. So it is going to be a scrum for which South Sydney will have the loose head and feed. Barrett, he angled out to the left, he crabbed across the ground, then he came in it again for the second play before Kite and Hookie got it all messed up there for a moment.
Number 7 for the Dragons tonight, Willie Peters, will be hoping for a good solid game. Still a little bit of doubt as to who will get that number 7 spot. Some pressure coming from Kieran Kerr. Willie Peters, I think he might just be the man for the job. He seems to combine very well with Barrett, allows Barrett to go in to first receiver whenever he wants. It's a pretty good little kicking game as well. South Sydney now into the opponent's half for the first time in quite a few minutes.
Now that is Pullatua.
That's 3. Here's 10. Wait with us.
25 metres out from the Dragons line. Craigie. And coming onto the ball is Luke Stewart. From the Sharks, both he and McNichol are starting this game off the bench. Craigie.
Last tackle. Coming up. Call back, Trent.
Last tackle is with us. Fitzgerald is out there for South Sydney in jumper number 18. He came across from the Dragons. And that was a poor way for South Sydney to finish that set.
Yeah, he knows he made a mistake there, Jamie Fitzgerald. You can see the reaction. Last tackle didn't give Shane Rigon any opportunity to come up with a tackle. Just gave away possession much too easily.
Target square.
18 is Donnelly, 17 is Gorrell. He was the dummy half. Now Thompson. Gorrell back with it again. He's on while Riddell is rested.
One back.
And I can see Lance Thompson also heading for the benches.
Clear him. Hands away.
Peters will play it almost in centre field. Barrett cutting back towards the middle. Ball pushed across to Mark Gasnier. Gasnier puts a hole in them. Gets the ball away for Hooper. Hooper just started to come across the ground looking for support. Last tackle for the Dragons. Barrett turning it back, and Souths have closed them down again. Gross runs at 15 metres, almost away from his own line.
Well, Mark Gasnier is set for a massive year, isn't he? He's been steadily improving over the last couple, and from what we've seen tonight, he will have a bumper season in years 2002. He's got all the skills, he's got plenty of speed, and he's got power. Trademark right foot step, fend, and just watch how he holds that ball up to the last second. A great offload. He's got State of Origin written all over him this year.
This is King. Let's go to the sideline. Andrew.
Ray, it's not that the match has been played at any great speed, but I'm sure the first 25, 26 minutes has seemed like a bit of a blur to the players. Really jumping, in particular the South blokes, understandably, but I just thought their last set of six was good. So too this one with a kick on the end of it, and the Dragons probably their best set of six, the previous one as well.
Blacklock just letting that one go.
Again, wait for it.
A couple of kicks, probably aided a bit by the breeze, and really letting the Dragons take their time and bring it back to the 20-metre line for the restart. We'll have the Rabbitohs in our opening Friday night telecast on March 15 against the Sydney Roosters.
We just saw a extended shot of Adam Muir, their captain, who will lead them against the Roosters in that opening Friday night clash. I think he's got to get a lot of matches under his belt this year. He is imperative to the Rabbitohs being top 8 contenders. He's got to be there week in, week out. I think both he and Owen Craigie may be key men with the chances. There's another mistake from the Dragons. This time just a simple knock-on from the tackle of McGilvray, cleaned up by the halfback Willie Peters, but a great chance now for the Rabbitohs. Centre field, 30 metres out.
Game that I guess many people thought would be a high-scoring affair, still at 0-0 after 28 minutes. Craigie, the Star City Charity Shield between the two most successful clubs in rugby league history. 17, Stewart will play the ball 15 metres out, 20 metres in from the western touchline. It's with McGilvray, now Fuller. And it did well. He just caught them napping there for a moment. This is Peake. Fitzgerald in 18. Brad Watts turning it back, and then Stewart got it away. Now Fitzgerald for Pulatua. Pulatua heading for the corner. Pulatua gets it on the ground. Peake off the feet then of Fitzgerald. He's got the ball. And this is the last tackle for the Rabbitohs. Through to Watts. Now to Craigie. Puts a grubber kick in, looking for McGilvray. Too deep. Back to the 20-metre line for the restart.
Oh, the South fans just sweating on a try. A nice kick from Craigie. Good skill off the left foot. Well covered in the end by Ben Hornby.
Ready.
The quality of the defence has been pretty good out there tonight. The attack's left a bit to be desired. Plenty of loose passes and drop balls, which you would expect in the sweaty conditions, but the defence has been pretty good.
Gasnier tackled on the eastern side of the ground. It's Ian Donnelly. Gorrell a dummy half. Barrett with runners on both sides of him. One of them was Blacklock. Blacklock looking to get involved now. Cooper comes down the left flank. He's tackled from behind, 20 metres out from the line. Now Barrett comes back. They decide to hit this side of the ground again. Work for McKinnon. Proficiently, he cleans it up.
I was surprised that Lee Hookie decided to kick there. He had a couple of men in support. Trent Barrett again orchestrating things. They love getting decoy runners going through it. Nearly opened up. Some good defence from behind, as you pointed out, by Mostyn, coming late to get his opposite man. And then the little kick there wasn't the last. But they will get another set of 6 back as McKinnon bats it over the dead ball line.
I think this might be the first repeat set in the game. 30-metre line. Gould, Bailey. A couple of these players back from their first rest. Smith is back as well, the second rower. Here's Barrett. And they're just operating off Barrett. He's very highly involved. Here he is again. Decided to take them on. Some of them are struggling. St. George looking for the first try. Kite has scored. Was he onside? That will be the question. Lovely little kick.
It was the big man, the front rower, Jason Riles. Left footer. Threaded the needle. Getting a report that he may have been just in front. So it could well be a no try, but look at this for skill. Taking the ball to the line. Very hard to pick up from that angle. He looks to be maybe a touch offside. If there's any benefit of the doubt, I think he'll go with the attacking side on this occasion. What do you think?
I think he's all right.
I think he's okay.
I think his right foot is behind Riles. I'm not sure if you've got to be completely behind or half your body behind. I think it's all right.
Well, again, that angle there probably doesn't look great, but that is not side on exactly to the players.
But this is what the video referee has called for on a couple of occasions. Lovely kick by Jason Riles. And this young fellow, Kite, as I said to you, he learnt some of his football down at Erindale in Canberra.
Well, am I right in saying that if there is a benefit of the doubt, that it goes to the attacking side? Because I can't remember it being applied at all last year. I didn't see it in any game. Maybe this is an occasion.
I reckon when the football touched Riles' foot, that he was still behind him and his left foot was in the air and not on the ground. His right foot was on the ground, and I think it's a try. What are you laughing at, Wolfhead?
Don't look at me, he's talking to you.
Well, this is an extraordinarily long delay.
For a trial match.
And for a trial match, you're quite right. Decision pending. It is green. St. George Illawarra have scored the first points of the game. It took half an hour, but a try eventually for the St. George Illawarra Dragons.
I hope this young man scores a mountain of tries in first grade. And even if he does, I think this one will stick in his mind. What a night for young Brent Kite. On the outside, did very, very well to gather that football in. That was not easy to do. A lot of bodies around. And he gets the first in this year's Charity Shield. And Mark Riddell looking to turn 4 into 6.
Got a very high percentage. Mark Riddell, 78%. That's very, very high. Here he is now. 5 metres in from touch and 20 metres out to take St. George Illawarra to 6-0. On its way, looking good. It's there. The Dragons lead 6-0 with 7 to go to half-time.
We took a couple of friends to Star City to sample the latest meal deals.
They got free membership to Star City's Total Star Club.
We had the fish and chips for $2.95.
And they had the half chicken and chips for $3.95.
The next day we all returned for the buffet lunch at Fortune's for $9.95.
Yum.
Then we treated ourselves to afternoon tea at Astral. Only $4.95.
Lovely views.
It's the best value food in the city.
If you say so, dear.
Back on the first set from the restart. And the Dragons 6, the Rabbitohs no score. Riddell, the goal kicker with the ball on his own 40-metre line. Willie Peters in 7. 18 is Donnelly. There's a name that has graced the rugby league turf on more than one occasion, and St George had a John Donnelly play with them. And of course, there was the great Dallas Donnelly who wore the black and white, the late Dallas Donnelly. Now Barrett.
And the same on the south side. Rally, of course, Wade McKinnon, the great Don McKinnon, North's legend throughout the 70s. Finished off with Manly in 1988, but he was one of the greats as well, Donny.
Mostyn. 17 is Luke Stewart. You're in for a bit of a treat after half-time. I believe the great Phil Gould, talking of greatness, State of Origin coach, Channel 9 commentator, will run the line. He'll do the touch judge's job for the first. Well, he's planned for 10 minutes, but he might only be in the air for about 60 seconds.
I'll tell you what, you'll be surprised when you see him too, folks at home, because he's trimmed down. He's lost about 9 or 10 kilos.
Yeah.
The old bee sting head.
Yeah. I'm glad you and he didn't try and pass in the tunnel. There'd be a traffic jam there for eternity.
Hey, looks good. It'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Peters. 6-0, St George Illawarra leading.
Yeah, Willie Peters playing the football there, and again this year persisting with playing him out on the wing in defence. I've seen a couple of other clubs do that. Preston Campbell was a great success last year with Cronulla. And a few years back, Craig Polamaunda did the same thing in his halfback days at Canterbury.
There's Barrett looking for a second-man runner. He's picked up Hornby. Barrett sending them down the short side. Nice play by Kite. He backed up beautifully. Looks for support. Lee Hookey. Hookey scores against his old club. Second try for St George Illawarra. And Kite again magnificent.
Yeah, South Sydney collapsing down their right-hand defence. It's all over the place. Fifth tackle, nice play, running it on the fifth tackle, short side. And that was a great in the way, wasn't it, from Hookey? And Kite's in the action, no doubt about it. Once again, he holds that ball up beautifully and finished off by Hookey.
They actually had enough troops here, South Sydney, but it's a poor read by Owen Craigie. You see he comes across on Lee Hookey. It's 2-on-2 there. All of a sudden, now 2-on-1, and that opens up the hole on the inside for Kite. He took full advantage of it, although he had some support. Decided to try and beat McKinnon himself. Was able to stay alive. And Lee Hookey also did well with his second involvement to get their second try.
So, second try of the night. Lee Hookey getting the second. Brent Kite got the first and played a major part in the second. Now Riddell from almost the same position. 20-metre line, kicking from the western side. 8 metres in. Had the angle right on the earlier occasion, which was only 5 minutes back.
And again telling the ball to go over.
Riddell, up goes the arms. There it goes. There it goes, straight between the big sticks again. Dragons 12, Rabbitohs yet to score.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah, see you, mate.
With Telstra, you can save up to 10% on your calls and internet access. When your home phone, mobile and internet are combined on one convenient bill. To bring your bill down to size, call 132200 now and find out how.
We are back live at Aussie Stadium, Sydney Football Stadium, now known as Aussie Stadium under the sponsorship of Aussie Home Loans. I point out, for the benefit particularly of our overseas audience, and many of you here, of course, in Australia, you'll hear us calling it the Aussie Stadium, not to be confused with Stadium Australia. We are really, though, at football headquarters when we say we're at Aussie Stadium. 12-0 Dragons over Rabbitohs. 40-metre line for the Rabbits. And that is the fullback, I think. Yes, it is McKinnon. And that's against the marker for not getting off the man with the football. It promises to be a marvellous view. Betting suggests that Parramatta will start favourite to win the crown. Brisbane, second favourite. The defending premiers, Newcastle, at third favourite. Here's Glenn Grief. Got a ball away. McKinnon, that's the 10-metre line. He's right in centre ground. Craigie, Muir, the offload. It will see them get there. Souths are over. And it is King, the centre, I believe, Andrew King. Yes, it's Andrew's try. And his old Manly Eagles teammate laid it on for him.
And the South fans go up for the first time in 2.5 years. Their team has scored a try. He looked good, didn't he, McKinnon? Striding through there. And some lovely hands out wide. Muir, once again, that's what they'll be doing all year, following Adam Muir. He can offload. And Andrew King, of course, combination there. They played at the Eagles last year. And King gets over.
He ran a really good line. Andrew King came back towards the man passing the football, and that caught Mark Gasnier out. By the time he reacted, King was through. And congratulations all around. There was certainly a hint of a forward pass in there, but the referee and touch judge said it was okay. So we didn't have any tries for the first half hour of this match, and we've had 3 in the final 10 minutes leading up to the break.
Damien Mostyn, the winger, attempting conversion, and it's away. No goal. So at half-time, St George Illawarra leading South Sydney by 12 points to 4 in the Star City Charity Shield. 2 tries to 1. St George Illawarra tries by Lee Hookey and Brent Kite. And for the Rabbitohs, Andrew King scoring right on half-time. It's an 8-point ball game. The Dragons lead the Rabbits as we go to a half-time break.
Want to see Sandra Bullock get her gear off? Want to see more?
Okay, now we're honeymooning.
Forces of Nature, premieres Sunday on 9. We took a couple of friends to Star City to sample the latest meal deals.
They got free membership to Star City's Total Star Club.
We had the fish and chips for $2.95.
And they had the half chicken and chips for $3.95.
The next day we all returned for the buffet lunch at Fortune's for $9.95.
Yum.
Then we treated ourselves to afternoon tea at Astral. Only $4.95.
Lovely views.
It's the best value food in the city.
If you say so, dear.
Must be stuck in third.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me. And tonight we're playing for a total provisional prize pool of $11,190,247. Our Division 1 prize tonight, $2,931,844. Tonight's winning numbers for Saturday Lotto draw number 2147 are 17, 37, 28, 26, 14, 41, our first supplementary 23 and our second supplementary 29. Lotto will be back at approximately 8:30 on Monday night. Until then, good luck and good night.
Solo, low on fizz, so you can slam it down fast.
Can a spray really make ironing easier and faster? Today, Brand Power looks at Fabulon, a trusted name with a proven formula that gives better results than ironing alone. Here's how. It smooths out stubborn wrinkles and allows you to glide through fabric with ease. Watch as we iron the same shirt with and without Fabulon. With Fabulon, fresh, crisp, wrinkle-free results are easy to achieve. To spend less time ironing but get brilliant, longer-lasting results, try Fabulon at your supermarket now. Brand Power, helping you buy better.
I've been to cities that never closed down, from New York to Rome and old London town. But no matter how far or how wide I roam, I still wanna stay
Shafted, the new quiz that's full of mind games. Join Red Simons for all the drama and tension of this devilishly addictive game. All new Shafted, 7 o'clock weeknights on 9.
An 8-point ball game as we welcome you back live to this year's Star City Charity Shield. St George Illawarra 12 over the South Sydney Rabbitohs 4. 3 tries in that first half, all coming fairly late. And Mark Riddell, excellent with the boot, converting the tries of Kite and hooky Andrew King. Got the Rabbitohs' first try for 2002. Paul Vorton, you mentioned defence was quite good, and it was overall. It is a trial, a lot of players on and off. Plenty of knock-ons, but I think both coaches would be fairly happy with the first 40.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Craig Coleman's got a huge task. He's got players from, about 18 different clubs who have just joined his club. It'll take them probably 4 or 5 weeks of the competition proper to get some combination going. They've looked a bit rusty in attack, but as long as Barrett's out there for the Dragons, I mean, he's just been sensational, and it's like they haven't stopped playing. They've looked pretty good in attack, the Dragons.
Yeah, I think they've probably been on top. They've created more opportunities, although early on, in fact, after 9 minutes, South Sydney denied this effort. This was the last tackle. Brett Gross, nowhere to go, does a great job to get in between Barrett and Blacklock and Gasnier. Got that ball to Andrew King, but the touch judge was right on the spot to rule that his foot went into touch. A correct decision. Andrew King, he got a try later on, which we'll have a look at. He's had a pretty good first 40 minutes.
He has actually. He's a good player, Andrew King. I still think he's going to make a very good fullback in the years to come, but he sniffed that out nicely, didn't he? Just come around the left there, saw there was a gap, not to be there on that occasion, but he got one later.
I think you got a bit of a soft spot for Mark Riddell too. I think you like him as a player, and he's featured very strongly. This break and the ensuing play almost leading to the Dragons' first try.
Actually, Mark Riddell, the first time we've seen him this year, looks as fit as I've ever seen him. And he's always carried a little bit of put around the lummox, but he's always had that speed, hasn't he? I've seen him do that over the last couple of years on many occasions, able to break the line and scoot away, especially over the first 30 metres. A very, very good player and a great goal kicker. We've seen him kick 2 tonight already.
This may only be a trial, but it is important for the players out there tonight. They want to be a part of it, and I think to get the first try in tonight's game is something that will be remembered. Brent Kite has that honour.
Some of them are struggling. St George looking for the first try. Kite has scored. Was he onside? That will be the question.
Yeah, well, I didn't think there was any doubt in the try, but coaches all around Australia now writing down Jason Riles runs hard, tackles hard, and has got a left foot kick. Let's watch out for that in the months to come. He's a very skillful player, Riles.
And we talk about all the players joining South Sydney this year. Brent Kite comes from Canberra, missed most of last year with a broken leg, but he's an Australian schoolboy, and he's done a great job out there, obviously revelling with the class players around him.
Yeah, he's done some good things, and he was involved in the second try as well, Pete.
Let's have a look at that one.
Barrett sending them down the short side. Nice play by Kite. He backed up beautifully. Looks for support. Lee Hookey. Hookey scores against his old club. Second try for St George Illawarra. And Kite again magnificent.
Well, they're specialists at this. Little short side goes on the last tackle. And look at this for a skill. This is hard to do. As he's going down, just before he hits the ground, he's alive and he pops that ball up nicely for Hookey, who backed up well. He made the initial bust. And at that stage, the Dragons looking good with a conversion. They went to a 12-0 lead.
A little extra satisfaction there too for Lee Hookey, a South junior, up against his old club. Now, we showed Andrew King being denied a try after 9 minutes. After 39 minutes, he finally got that 4-pointer.
Here's Glenn Grief. Got a ball away. McKinnon, that's the 10-metre line. He's right in centre ground. Craigie. Muir, the offload. It will see them get there. South are over. And it is King, the centre, I believe, Andrew King.
Yeah, well, the old Eagles combination coming out here now. Both the boys with the bunnies, and they both had strong first halves. Adam Muir, the pass from that angle did look a touch forward, but the South fans, fantastic for them. They went up as one, and South, they fight their way back into the game at 12-4.
Just quickly, who do you think's been the best?
I think for the Bunnies, I think Brad Watts, when he was out there, did well. Up front, Paul Stringer and Glenn Grief did their job early. Adam Muir was good for the Dragons. Riles, and of course Barrett. He's just an outstanding rugby league player, Barrett.
Well, Andrew King featured fairly prominently there. He came into this game through an injury to Russell Richardson. The big former Cronulla centre is on the sidelines with Andrew Voss.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Plenty happening. If you had a cross just a moment ago, there was a portly redhead behind me limbering up called Phil Gould, who will be a touch judge to start the second half. A bloke who's slightly slimmer and fitter as Russell Richardson, but not fit enough to play tonight. Obviously a great disappointment to miss the match.
Yeah, we've had a really good off-season and had a little small mishap about a week ago and did something to my thigh and missed out in the game. Very disappointing. I'd love to be out there tonight with the guys.
Russell, just tell us how tough it was for the players. The build-up extraordinary to tonight's match, the expectation, the full house, a phone call from Russell Crowe before kickoff. It's all out of the ordinary to expect 17 blokes to go out there, 13 blokes that start, to go out and play perfect football.
Yeah, it's been a long build-up and everyone's a bit jumpy at the start of each year and you know, that's to be asked, you know, that's to be expected as well. And I think all things considered, the boys are playing some good football out there. There's been a little bit of drop ball, but other than that, it's been pretty good.
And very quickly, Russell, big start for you, restarting the career here at the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, it's actually, I've had a great off-season. I'm really looking forward to playing. It's just, as I said, a bit of a disappointment to miss the start, but when when the 2 points are counting, when the premiership starts, I'll be around.
All right, Russell, thanks for coming down to the sideline. It is half-time in the Charity Shield, our first league game for the year, and the Dragons up by 12 points to 4. We'll take a break and come back with the second half on the Wide Water Sports.
Inferno, a living, breathing hell.
Keep your head down. Are you scared? Sometimes, yes.
A baptism of fire for the heroes who save lives.
You've got to be willing to push yourself beyond your limits.
Plus, all in the family.
It's just ripping off the public purse.
Holly's putting their relatives on the public payroll.
That'd be justified.
And 5-star accommodation for just $10 a night.
Now that's a saving into the hundreds of dollars.
When Nissan presents A Current Affair.
You know what next weekend is?
Yeah, it's tonight's Parramatta game.
No. How about March 31st?
Pluggers comeback match with the Swans.
That's my birthday. How about April 20?
The Waratahs game.
That's your birthday. And next weekend is our anniversary.
Then I should have got 2 tickets to the game.
Plan your sporting weekends with a Sunday Telegraph's free glossy 12-month ultimate footy calendar. Only in this weekend's Sunday Telegraph.
Sunday Telegraph.
Are you looking for the easy way to be a Survivor winner? Only Solo, Doritos, Pepsi and Lay's give you the chance to win $5,000 by simply voting for who will go in the next episode of Survivor. And all correct entries go into the draw to win $500,000. It's the easy way to win. So grab your favorite snack or drink and you could be a Survivor winner.
There's a car. A car with a powerful 1.8-litre, 100-kilowatt DVTi engine that just says, move on over. A car with precision handling that you can trust. And that car is... A Corolla? The all-new Toyota Corolla. It isn't. It is. It isn't. No. Yes.
Hardware House have the biggest home improvement range at the lowest prices every day. Like Hortico 500-gram all-purpose fertilizer, 2 for $4. Sally's pack of 3 liquid nails, $8.98. Rain Tower sprinkler, $17.49. 15-watt Stinger yard guard, $49.45. Set of 3 paintbrushes, $2.90. And if you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%. Lowest prices every day. Also at Bunnings Warehouse, Auburn and Minchinbury.
Seen one nappy sand commercial. You've seen them all, haven't you? Here's a surprise. It's liquid. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Now, this particular product, have you seen that before?
Yes, I have. I use it regularly.
Oh, do you?
Fantastic.
Oh, it's a great time saver because we just put the nappy sand liquid straight in with the wash.
It just brightens up the clothes, freshens them up.
Well, what's the worst stain you've ever got out with this particular one, the liquid one?
Beetroot last night.
Liquid nappy sand will give you the power of nappy sand in every wash.
I just don't take my laundry that seriously.
Road is at a standstill, an absolute parking lot. We'll have more after the breakfast news. Breakfast.
Don't have time for the breakfast you want? Now you can have a breakfast smoothie every day and still look good. New Fast Break, the 99% fat-free breakfast smoothie from Sanitarium.
Welcome back to Aussie Stadium, where the Dragons in the Charity Shield are leading the South Sydney Rabbitohs 12 points to 4. And it is the first time back in the Premier League for the South Sydney Rabbits since 1999. A great night, full of emotion, plenty of people, probably 35,000 here. The Dragons come out for the second half. Barrett, there was some talk that he might not take any part in the second half. He led his team out. In fact, Trent looks like he can't get enough of the action. Been very highly involved. Talking to fellow Kangaroo. Mark Gasnier is there just for a moment. 3 tries in the game. 2 scored by St George Illawarra at the 32nd and 37th minute, and then the Rabbitohs right on half-time as they come back. And I'm just looking for the honourable officials as they come down the tunnel, because Phil Gould is amongst them. There he is. There is Gus Gould on the left, very trim. How do you feel?
Going good, mate, going good. Gee, I'll tell you what, the atmosphere down here is electric.
Hey, Gus, you haven't made any mistakes yet.
Getting a fair razzing from the crowd, too.
I always knew you'd end up in those kind of stripes, but on a post office wall, I'd have thought.
They're not supposed to be waving the flag to the crowd. Not a train station, you know.
Just talking to the fans, mate. Just talking to the fans.
All right.
Now, don't interrupt me, because I've got a lot of work to do down here.
Rabs, I hope we get a 40-20.
Yeah, good. I'll see you on the footy show. Have a full report on all the referees from behind the scenes. 14th of March, the night before the first game of the season. And we'll talk about the referees then. I've got to concentrate.
Okay, I'll leave you be. Sing out if you need any help.
Okay.
The Rabbitohs down 12-4 as we move into the second half with Phil Gould on the touchline. Keeping in mind that if players are sent from the field for foul play, they can be replaced I think they brought that rule in because if things got desperate, Gus probably would have found a reason to get rid of a couple of the St George Illawarra players for the rest of the night. Here's Shane Rigon now, 30 metres away from his own line. Jason Deeth linking up there with Glenn Grief, from Deeth to Grief, and he plays the ball, and it's gone back to Blaine Stanley, who's on now, another of the Cronulla contingent, playing in jumper number 19 for the Rabbitohs. Wonderful to have them back, I'm sure you'd agree. Katavarata, the Fijian who represented Fiji at the World Sevens. Lakevale loses the ball, and South Sydney come up in possession, and good field position too for string up. Then McKinnon, now Hart. Struggling run, 23 metres out from the line. The ball came out. It'll be a penalty, I would imagine.
Bit of foul play, and Gus is going in.
Where's Gus?
In he goes. Very slowly.
Be very careful, Gus.
He might throw one.
Don't get too close. You're the State of Origin coach.
I got you back. Hey, Nate, there you go. Any trouble here? Any trouble here?
What's Gus going to do? He didn't even see it. What's he in there for?
Hey, look away, man, Drew. I'm learning. Look away, just see this, all right? Oh, he's coming to make the tackle, mate. All over his face, got a four over his face, okay? Daniel Hart presented that, got up throw and punches. The rest of the ball all over the face. Okay, Hart's got up throw and punches.
I didn't see anything, mate. Just coming to protect you, that's all.
All right, thanks very much. Okay.
Some of your best work. You idiot.
At least he's being honest. I told you he didn't have anything to report. What did he go in for? Just wanted to get on camera.
Anyway, the Bunnies have got a penalty, and they're having a shot at goal in the trial, the Charity Shield. It's 12-4. We'll be trying to make it 12-6.
Okay.
And this is what it's all about. Bit of rumbling, little facial massage. It was Hooper on Hart. Hart, of course, the former Dragon, was playing with Hooper last year. And no damage done.
Gus, can you talk to me now?
I can, mate, yes.
Which upright are you watching?
I'm watching the player's left-hand upright, my right-hand upright.
Is that the clue, is it? You've got to watch an upright?
I've got to watch the upright, yeah.
Okay.
Also got to watch my partner, because I'm just going to copy whatever he does.
Fair enough.
I've already had $10 on that he'll kick it.
I say you're allowed to gamble.
Yeah, it's Saturday. What
Fair
else do you do on
enough.
a Saturday?
This is Scott McLean, Gus, that's kicking the ball towards you.
Can kick, $10 to me here.
We've got a camera right behind you, and it's not pretty.
It'll be pretty when the flags go up.
McLean.
Here we go.
Is he going to get it? He's got it. It is 12-6. We will take a break and come back to Gus in just a moment.
We took a couple of friends to Star City to sample the latest meal deals.
They got free membership to Star City's Total Star Club.
We had the fish and chips for $2.95.
And they had the half chicken and chips for $3.95.
The next day we all returned for the buffet lunch at Fortune's for $9.95.
Yum.
Then we treated ourselves to afternoon tea at Astral. Only $4.95.
Lovely views.
It's the best value food in the city.
If you say so, dear.
So 2 minutes into the second half, and South Sydney via a penalty. Edge just a little bit closer. It's a converted try in the Charity Shield. 12-6. The Dragons over the Rabbitohs. With Stringer bringing it back. 15 from his own line. Glenn Grief. Jason Deeth. Adam Muir. There it is. 7 years of the Footy Show. Tell us about it, fella.
The Footy Show's returning for its 8th year this year, and the first 7 years, it's the best of the best of. We think it'll go for about 10 minutes, but somehow they've dragged an hour and a half out of it. And then the following week, on the 14th of March, we'll see Phil Gould and his report the first live footy show of the year.
Here's Blaine Stanley. Kicking it judiciously. Making the fullback number 19, Ben Hornby, cover some territory, and the winger. And the Dragons therefore back on their own 20-metre line because of that good kick. Catavarata held down by Jason Deeth, just slowing the play down as long as he can. And that is Lee Hookey, who got one of the St George Illawarra tries in the first half. Catavarata again. I think he actually came to Sydney football via Murwillumbah. Wise, Catavarata. Halfway line now for the Dragons. There's Riddell. Puts in his kick that should go into the touch line, which Gus was right on top of it. He was tempted to put the flag up, but then he realised it was more advantageous for South to carry on. Here's Andrew King. Gross. And Gross was brought down 25 metres out from his own line. 12-6. The red and whites. St George Illawarra. 35 premierships between these two clubs, if you just discount the merger factor. 20 premierships by South, 15 by St George. So that's why they're regarded as the two great clubs. Here's a chance. And Sinclair left it on the ground. And Kerr has got the ball for the Dragons. Half a chance there for South. Marked by Jason Sinclair and Owen Creighton. Here's Kite. Memorable occasion for him. Scored a try and played a major part in the other. Riles passing without looking was okay. It worked out okay. Gasney is with it on this western touchline now. Blacklock to Barrett, and Barrett away for Lightvoll. And Chris Lightvoll plays it 42 metres out. Barrett now puts on some speed, runs to the defence line. They went for the intercept. They've left the corner open. Hookey looking for his second. Oh, it's intercepted by the Rabbits and knocked on.
Well, that try, that was impossible to bomb. There was 1,000 red and white jumpers. That's a great ball, touched in midair. Hookey's away. Now look at all the support on the inside. There's one on the outside too. An error in judgment there by Hookey.
Yeah, but gee, Brent Grace, didn't he do well? He realised that the only way of denying the opposition was to get a charge down and intercept. He was able to do exactly that. Big man Paul McNicholas about to come into the action. So to Jamie Fitzgerald. The Dragons through Barrett attack once again. Loves it, doesn't he, Trent Barrett?
Gasnier, little shimmy and able to half beat Andrew King. Wrapped up by McKinnon. The Dragons brewing up with Lance Thompson within 5 metres of the posts.
To the line, hold, let it go.
Riddell goes himself.
That's three. Stands up here.
Thinks about it himself and has a go. Loses the ball. The Rabbitohs lose the ball as well. They had the ball. They had an advantage. That's how he's ruled. The Dragons back on the attack. Kerr.
Play there, 1.
5 metres out from the South Sydney line. Riddell. Cross he goes. Lightvoll.
2.
Put down with the line, as you can see, inches away. Now Riddell gets it out to the orders of Barrett. Wider. And now Blacklock is there working off Barrett. Good defence, King. Blacklock had to be stopped. Gasnier. He's put away. There's the line. Riddell, they put on a blindside play. Thompson, he's there. Lance Thompson, high fives. Third try for the Dragons.
Yeah, they look good, don't they, with the football the Dragons have done all night. Trent Barrett's having a marvellous game. They tried a little sneak go into the sticks. McKinnon took it out, but strong defence over the top, knocked the ball loose. Another 6 tackles. They couldn't hold them at bay. I like Bill Gould's work here. Right there on the spot, and half a dozen nods to the referee. say try time.
Lance Thompson spending time on the wing after being the man who tried to go in under the post but lost the football. And Thompson able to reach out of the Brent Gross tackle. Again, South Sydney had enough troops there. They just allowed men to get on the outside. It was actually 3-on-2, but somehow the two got outside. Lance Thompson, who's had his injury problems, but hopefully will set himself for an injury-free season this year. It's their third. He's turned into a wonderful leader at a young age.
No problems, Gus? You didn't see anything at all?
No, it was all right, mate. He just got it down in time. He touched his ear 2-0 on this one. He's testing me.
I tell you what, you got yourself into a wonderful position.
20-0. He's been kicking well, Riddell.
Just try and not stand in front of that corner camera, would you?
My flag's going to go up. Don't worry about that.
Righto. Here's Riddell. 3 tries to 1. St George Illawarra with Riddell. Goal number 3 from the tee. And he's away to the right of the uprights. So we'll take a break. It is the Dragons 16 and South Sydney 6.
Toyota's causing a real sensation, so while stocks last, you can get a 2001 Avalon V6 Conquest automatic with power steering, all-round power windows, power mirrors, driver's SRS airbag, central locking immobiliser and free air for the sensational once-only price of just $28,990 drive away, no more to pay. So jump into Toyota's sensational 2001 stock sell-off today, because there's no better feeling than a Toyota sale.
As we welcome our Sydney audience back to our live coverage on the wide world of sports.
Just quickly, Gus, on a serious note, you were involved in the recruitment of the South Sydney players. How have you seen this 50 minutes?
Really good. Look, I tell you, the first half was really intense, mate. Just hold on, got the play coming my way here.
Yeah, you have. You concentrate on what you're doing. Here's Thompson. Thompson to the 40-metre line with a bustling effort. Played back and away from Riles. And now Riles for Kerr. Kerr looks for a gap. Tries to dart through it, leaves the ball on the ground. It's with Craigie. So, are you okay to pick it up again, Phil?
Yeah, I certainly am, mate. I think the forwards were really good early. They controlled the ball, very willing. I thought some of their goal line defence was terrific. The two players that impressed me were the halfback and the fullback. Young fellas, probably not well known to the public in the senior grade, in the positions they're playing, and they've gone good. I think Craig Coleman will be very happy. He's used a lot of players tonight, giving everyone a feel of this Terry Shield. And it's been really good. I think they'll be happy with tonight, whatever happens from here on in.
Played by McGilvray now. And his former Penrith teammate, Frank Pulatua. 35 metres out from the Dragons line. They need to be the team that scores next, the Rabbits. Brad Watts has done well. And the ball dived on now by McKinnon. 6 more tackles, says the referee. 16-6, the Dragons by 10, but South's attacking. Pulatua, 21 metres out from the Dragons line. Swept away, and here's McGilvray. Brad Watts is in there, sweating on a play that might carry them over the line. This might be it here, as the number 11 goes to ground for South. Andrew Hart, forced back by his former teammates. Craigie finding Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald for Watts, and Watts the right and left foot sidestep before he's taken to ground and put down. Now they come wide. Craigie goes back to the middle, lines up with Brent Gross. Gross is still going. Gross is going to make it. Gross is over. South Sydney are in.
Yeah, good on Brent Gross. He's tried to get involved tonight. We saw him stop a try at the other end, then unable to make a tackle on Lance Thompson to stop the second rower getting over. And now he's come into the centre of the field and wormed his way over. Nice work there from Brad Watts. That was signalled 6 again there. Ball was knocked out by Trent Barrett. It was cleaned up by Wade McKinnon. So another set of 6. And then the young winger who did well in a couple of first-grade games for Cronulla last season. It was just persistence that got him over the line.
Yeah, the Dragons' defence just dropped off in intensity, didn't it? He's actually beaten 3 or 4 or 5 players here. Evaded them well. A couple of them hesitated. They thought, no, someone else has got him. They hung off, and he forced through 2 pretty good defenders in Riddell and Thompson.
And again, we stress it might only be a trial, but you could see from the reaction of Lance Thompson how serious he's taking things out there. He is bitterly disappointed that they allowed the young winger to get across in a fairly easy conversion attempt.
For Scott McLean. And so close he could have thrown it over. So the Rabbitohs refusing to go away. Dragons 16, Rabbitohs 12.
Gravity, new from Lynx.
Who will survive? If you're with Telstra Mobile, you can get the latest info with Survivor Insider News. Just SMS survivor.on to 176. Plus, you could win tickets to the final show to see this year's #1 Survivor.
You came back from a break on the 9 network relays perfectly. Kickoff sees South Sydney charging back just beyond the 20-metre line. McGilvray.
That was Pulatua who brought it back. I'd love to see Frank Pulatua scout a little bit wide when possible, run at the inside backs. A real handful.
Nicholas, he might become a little bit difficult to handle. He should have plenty of petrol left. He hasn't been used a lot. And he caused a lot of trouble. The team playing against Cronulla, I remember last year. He might be well advised to follow his skipper, Muir. Brad Watts drilling it. And he got the mistake he wanted. That's what he was looking for. And he nailed it on Blacklock.
Yeah, it looked like Blacklock just took this a little bit easy. And South now in good field position, only 20 metres out. They'll get the ball from this scrum.
And the Tinga boys came together here too. Blacklock going back to clean up the mistake, and Owen Craigie comes in to make sure that his mate knew exactly what had happened.
Well, that's nearly got to be a strip, I would have thought. Andrew Hart. I was of the opinion he was in a 2-man tackle. The ball came free, and I thought it got some assistance. And that's what Andrew, see the 2 fingers, that's what he's querying the referee on. What happened to a 2-man tackle?
Hold it still.
And raking the ball.
Put it in.
It seems he's just been totally ignored by the referee.
And obviously no help there from the touchy.
That's a fair point. Andrew Voss, sideline.
Yeah, Ray, big story from down here too. That young touch judge that's been operating on the western side, Phil Gould, has done his hamstring. He's gone. Out for the night. He's gone.
So that's it.
Stand up.
That's it. Off to the Wentworth Park Dogs, I think.
My brilliant career is over. Well, that was bad luck there for South. I'm almost sure they should have got a penalty, the Rabbitohs.
Here's the mark, here's the pen.
I know one bloke in the stadium that agrees with me, and that's Andrew Hart. Barrett clears with a big kick. Running take by McKinnon.
And he realised how important it was to get that one on the full, because Trent Barrett had kicked inside from the 40. If that had bounced, there was a big chance it was going to go over the sideline, and a St George possession.
This is McLean. Try scorer Gross. Well, badly done by Andrew Hart. Now McNicholas. Have a look at the size of this fella. And then it's been knocked back by St George Illawarra. Bailey.
That's 2.
Nicholas.
Wait.
And he tried to pass the ball. There was no suggestion of a rake or a stealing of the ball there, even though there were 2 in the tackle. He was trying to pass the ball. Now Barrett does a little dance and a shimmy to use a Gould. Played by Peters, back to Barrett. Barrett away for Smith, the second rower. And tries to cannon through the middle. He's tackled 18 metres out from the Rabbitohs line. Out it comes from Gould. Beautiful hands from Barrett. Dropped onto the right foot. Blacklock's over. That is Champagne Rugby League. Well, it's the Charity Shield. It is February. It is the first game of the year as far as we're concerned, and that is an absolute classic.
Yeah, two of the best crowd pleasers in the game today. Trent Barrett and Nathan Blacklock. They've been working on this for years. And Blacklock had the advantage. He was on the charge, facing the football. He's always been a great jumper. See Barrett look over, pinpoint accuracy. It's beautiful stuff.
Yeah, most players would never have had the opportunity to kick that football because they'd have knocked on. The pass again, very low. Barrett took it with consummate ease. And both the outside chasing men for the Dragons did well also. They made sure they stayed behind Trent Barrett, so there was no hint of offside at all. And as Paul pointed out, the momentum behind Blacklock gave him an advantage over Brent Gross.
Superb hands from the boy from Temora, Trent Barrett. This is Gould, 20 metres out, and he struck it well, but it's just off to the right of the upright. So Blacklock scores a try. 2012, Andrew.
Well, that try won't count towards the official career first-grade tally of Nathan Blacklock, but just to let you know, when the season does start in the middle of March, Nathan Blacklock will start with a career tally of 97 tries, so he's closing in on the century. I'm sure he'll get it. He might get it in week 1, in fact.
That was just a perfect example, as Paul Horton pointed out, of two of the real crowd pleasers in the game today. Talking of the crowd, it is bordering on 37,000 officially. Here's Bailey. They will look for a big year from him this year. Injury has plagued his career in recent times. 36,804 to be precise, that crowd. Gould. Peters. Left foot kick. Played a season or two in England. This is McLean.
There's a wonderful crowd, isn't it? We expected that. Thought that the inclement weather on the drive here might have kept some people away. We've had more good fortune with our weather than they did up at North Power Stadium. A trial up there between Parramatta and the Eagles was actually called off because of lightning. So no first grade trial up there.
There's a chance here.
Forward pass, but Gross is away. It hasn't been called back. The Rabbits are looking for the corner. The Rabbits are going to do it. McKinnon scores for South Sydney.
Yeah, the Bunnies coming home, and they're happy about it. They're going to have some fun here, the South fans, with this South Sydney side. They've got plenty of speed, a lot of skill in this team, a lot of young blokes willing to have a go. This is ordinary defence, not very well read at all. They were caught short. And it's Brent Gross flying down that touchline, and Wade McKinnon, he's had a huge game, McKinnon, backing up on the inside.
Yeah, look, I thought all the passes were fine there. I thought the Owen Craigie pass was a beauty. And then Brent Gross, he summed this up really well. He looks inside to see where the support's coming from. He slowed down, but he made sure that he committed the last man. And that gave McKinnon enough head start to get to the line, to travel the 20 metres. Even though Hornby did pretty well to turn and chase. Well executed and a good strike back.
20 points to 16. Still a kick to come from McLean. I can't tell you a lot about this kid. South Sydney have used 24 players in the game. And on the bios, there doesn't seem to be any readout on 23 and 24. One thing we do know is he's a goal kicker, and there he goes with this attempt, and it's wide. 4 points the margin. The Dragons continue to lead and Souths continue to claw their way back. Andrew.
And the Sharks connection coming to the fore there. Blaine Stanley on screen, but Brent Gross in the lead-up. I've been rejoined by the football manager of the Rabbitohs, Sean Garlick. He played all bar one of his matches for the Sharks last year on the wing. He played 15 matches in first grade, but you're telling me he's pretty impressive. May even end up in the centres all year.
It wouldn't surprise me at all, Vossi. A very memorable game against the Knights in that semi-final last year where he was forced to defend and hit the centres and Preston Campbell out on the wing. He made 40 tackles and was very impressive. I actually felt sorry for him before when he was out-jumped by Nathan Blacklock. There wasn't much he could do there. He's had a very strong game.
20-metre line then for South. And it's Jason Deeth.
Outrageous forward for that. In North Power Stadium, the trial did go ahead up there. It was just a delayed start. They did have some lightning strike a post up there, which put things well back. With the Eagles and the Eels going at it as well.
And just on the crowd, I mean, as the St George Illawarra bench looks on, I just happened to be passing through the tab a couple of hours before the game, and a lot of supporters here from just all walks of rugby league, not just Souths and Dragon supporters, but from all over the place. Manly supporters and West supporters just wanted to see a game of rugby league and see the Bunnies in their first game back.
Some heavy contact there on Brad Watts from Aaron Gurrell. Everything was okay with it. The halfback kicks the football and gets hit a little bit high, but I think it was all okay.
In the meantime, Simmons on the kick return was very good. And there's Watts being assisted from the field. Cooper's had a run down the left side. And that is Hooper the lock. No Barrett. He's on the bench, as you saw. Gorrell plays it on the 40-metre line. And Peters puts a left foot kick raking across to Mostyn. Craigie. Deep. Seen plenty of clubs, Jason. And from the matches I've seen him play, he's given tremendous service to them. He's a fine talent. Maybe not recognised as much as he should have been. 40-metre line, Dragons end of the park. 12 minutes of the game to go, and the Rabbits have been playing catch-ups. They'd love to put their nose in front. Stanley finding the line. Hooper having a late shot at Blaine Stanley, and then just a little cameo. It certainly didn't have the fire and brimstone that people were suggesting that it would have. Dragons with Simmons, base over apex. Catavarata. They're good yards. 2 runs and they've cleared the danger zone. Lighthold. Good tackle there by Adam Peake it was. Now Bailey. Bailey's big and strong.
Well, it's been nice and physical, but Ray, there maybe hasn't been the flare-ups that we predicted. The guys have ripped in. We have had send-offs in this Charity Shield before. Darren Marone was actually, he wasn't sent off, but he got a 12-match suspension out of it many years ago, back in '89. Of course, Terry Hermanson and Corey Pearson were sent off in 1998. And it's had its victims.
Gross. Rig on. And McNicholas making the mistake. The Dragons with the football right on the halfway line. And we are with Matt Cooper now on the 40-metre line. So they've pushed ahead. Here's Bailey running at McNicholas. Kerr. And Saints through the number 19, Hornby, playing the ball on the 30-metre line. Here's Kerr again. He's very nippy. In fact, he and Peters play a very similar role. And now Hornby. And then a catch and pass from Smith, scooped up off the ground by Peters. And the 17 is Gould. And they are on the 20-metre line. In the centre of the ground, Blacklock across the Kerr, and Kerr gets it off the outside edge of the boot. He's looking for Hookie. Hookie rakes it down. Thompson stands. Hookie's looking for another try, but he's now put away. And that's the turnover on the last tackle.
Yeah, Lance Thompson gesticulating to the referee, saying he thought that South Sydney touched that. The referee didn't see it that way. Good prospect, Kieran Kerr. Played a few games first grade last year for the Dragons. Thought they played well around him. He got injured. It's going to be a time back in First Division, but he's getting another chance tonight to impress coach Andrew Farrar.
I tell you else had a good game, just gone about his work in a nice manner. It's the second rower, Justin Smith, who's in the 11 jersey. There's a big opportunity there now. No Wayne Bartram, no Darren Tracy. And he's just slotted in very nicely next to Lance Thompson.
There's a bloke we have forgotten mentioning, and he's the second row. They're called Timmins, who they will be anxiously awaiting the return of.
South get the football back here.
Played by Owen Craigie. Now they come running. Glenn Grief. South Sydney down by 4. Blaine Stanley. Paul Stringer. Ball stolen, two-man tackle. Souths get a penalty.
Well, Jason Deeth is asking the bench, do they kick for goal here? I think they've got to go for more than that. Can they draw on the emotion from this crowd to get over the line?
So, Grief takes it to 2 metres. In front of 36,000. The famous red and green jumper looking to level the account. Stanley finding Craigie. Wide ball for Sinclair. Now from Andrew Hart, finding McGilvray. McGilvray goes wide. Out to McLean. McLean on Cataparata. Cataparata makes the tackle with some help. McGilvray now. Looking to get this ball wide, and they do with the first pass. And the 18 is Fitzgerald. Now the last. Craigie puts a grabber kick in. They're going to do it now. Oh, Blacklock. He failed to clean up and then got back into the field of play.
Listen, there's an offside in there. I know you can't get penalised, but I still thought there was an indiscretion from St George.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a look at this. That's okay. Comes off him. Back to Blacklock. That can't be play on.
Well, it's a knock on in the in goal for a start.
Well, you can't be offside, but you're quite right. There's been a knock-on in there. So it would look like another passage of play where South Sydney have been really disadvantaged.
And the funny thing was the referee was right on the spot, and the touchdown's not far away. But anyway, Wade McKinnon, very impressive tonight. Once again, takes the ball up about 20 metres.
Back, mark it square.
He's got St George Illawarra now for the markers not standing directly in front. Is that a little square up?
Well, I don't know, but Lance Thompson's coming over to question the decision and to slow things down a little bit.
Called him at the last scrum.
If that's not a square up, we just should all give it away.
Just go back to that rule on the in goal. You cannot throw the ball forward, but you cannot be classified as offside. It's a fine line, but there was a knock-on back there, as you all thought. Well, South should have been still down on the other end of the park attacking. Instead of that, they'll have to bring it back from 75 metres to be 30 metres out now. And we are 21 metres out from the line, played by Muir. It is with Stringer. Stringer on the 10-metre line. Still a couple to go. Out to Brad Watts. Now to Blaine Stanley. Andrew Hart is with it, and that is tackle 5. Craigie wants it on the left. He's with it. Puts another kick in. Came off the Dragons. Picked up by Paul Stringer.
6 again.
And he played at the ball. 6 more tackles. Stanley goes across the park. Picks up number 24. That is Merritt. Merritt to play it back for Stanley again. He goes back to the open side. Craigie for Jason Deeth. And Deeth will play the ball. 2 metres out from the line. Played back to Craigie again. Stringer goes barging. Gets over the line. Held up is he. Simpkins rules held up in goal. But they will get the feed and they should get the ball back.
And my word, these big forwards of South Sydney are really making some metres in a row there. We had Stringer and then Grief and Hart all running the ball strong and hard. And as you get the ball down, no referee right on the spot.
I think Riddell gets his leg under the football. Take nothing away from the Dragons' defence either. They're under the hammer, but they're coming up with the goods. Real buzz around the ground now. Only 3.5 minutes to go. I think the kind of finish that all the fans were hoping for tonight.
Can the Bunnies get up and win it? Watts has tackled. Open side of the scrum. Deeth. South Sydney so close to the line. Jamie Fitzgerald. Gross. Deeth. Deeth out of 1. Pulled down again. Watts. Stanley. Craigie. Chance! Chance! McLean is over! Did he get it down?
He did.
It's a try!
It is.
Look at the South Sydney players! And the crowd! The crowd has gone mad over in that corner! The Rabbitohs have levelled!
With the kick to come. 77 minutes gone. And South Sydney coming home with a wet start. Owen Craig has really come into his own in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and that's a great sign. He does well here. He realises that the right side is the way to go. And he gets his man on the outside of Catavarata. Plenty to do. They're still there in numbers, the red and white jerseys. But the referee, look at the referee. He's burrowing down. He's trying to make sure that he works out exactly what goes on here.
Yes, what a grandstand finish here for the first match of the year.
And there it is, on the ground.
And the try scorer will attempt conversion of his own try, in all probability to win the match. Just 1.5 minutes to go. And Scott McLean.
What about Scott McLean? Say a month ago, training with South Sydney, do you ever think it passed through his mind that on the opening night here in front of 30-odd thousand people, with 2 minutes to go, it would be down to his boot as to whether his side could actually win the game? It's a great game, rugby league, isn't it? The opportunities present themselves the most unbelievable times.
Look at the faces. Somebody described it earlier as a rugby league celebration, and that's the way it should have been approached, I'm sure. It's been great for rugby league. Now McLean, it's on its way. It starts wide of the uprights. So we are almost certainly going to finish at 20 points all. Andrew.
Out of interest, Ray, South would retain the Charity Shield because they won it back in '99. Look, I know the Rabbitohs' #1 supporter, Russell Crowe, is an Academy Award-winning actor, but this is like an Academy Award-winning script, the potential out of tonight's match. Their first game back, they have rallied. It is 20-all. Who's to say they can't kick a long-range field goal?
I'll say that because with 24 seconds to go, I just think we're going to have a 20-all draw.
It's out on the full. It's a penalty at the middle of the halfway.
Just tell me to be quiet, please.
Who's got the biggest boot? There's a few kickers out there.
Well, they've got to have a kick for goal.
Have to. You've got McLean, you've got Craigie, you've got Brad Watts can kick.
No!
Field goal.
Oh, no!
So Fitzgerald has taken a tap and then he's had to go at a drop goal. It is all over. They had a very quick committee meeting asking the question, can anybody kick a goal from 50 metres? It is smiles all round. That is Andrew Hart talking to some of his former teammates. It's all been, though, for a great cause tonight. This was the kick that saw South Sydney get that final reprieve, one that they couldn't capitalise on. And at the end of the night, it finished at 20 points all. Mark Riddell, not impressed. And then Fitzgerald, he took a tap, and hang on a moment.
Jason Riles.
He's finished up with a forearm to the face from Jason Riles. Nothing said about that incident. It may well be brought up later because it was under the judiciary scrutiny. Let's go to Andrew down on the field.
And Ray, with the Dragons captain Trent Barrett, hardly a run-of-the-mill trial match, that one.
Yeah, definitely. Great crowd, and it was a good night. Good trial, and it's what we needed. I needed a run. I was puffing there at stages, so it'd be good to get that one out of the road.
We spoke to plenty of the Souths guys about how they handled the approach to such a big night, such a big occasion for them. But what about the Dragons players? I mean, because it is your first hit out of the year, yet it was extraordinary, the build-up.
Yeah, it was. It's a little bit different, and I think it's good for the game. It's good to see Souths back, and a crowd out there supporting rugby league is just what we needed. And if we can get crowds like this following every side, it'd be great.
All right, Trent, thanks for your time tonight. We'll talk to you plenty of times throughout season 2002. Right now, Sean Garlick is with the Rabbitohs captain, Adam Muir.
Thanks, Bossy. Yes, Adam Muir is just getting congratulations from the coach. And how do you feel? It was a massive build-up. Was it hard to put out of your mind that it was just a trial game?
It was very, very hard. Like with so much build-up. Like I think in our last session we come out of the tunnel and there was so much media. It was like similar to a semi-final week or a grand final week. But it's been a really good week, and all the supporters here that made it tonight, and all the ones that are at home and in pubs and that, I can't thank them enough. And this is they're the real reason why we're back.
They talk about South Sydney spirit. It must have been encouraging to see the boys come from behind in the end. Some great charges from Glennie Grief, Paul Stringer. It looked like it's all there.
Mate, it is. Like, it was first game together. The boys played really well, and the best thing about this, we're only going to improve tenfold on this. And yeah, it was a great night, and it's something I'll remember forever.
Thanks, Herty. Enjoy the night. A bit more to come. Serious stuff on the 15th of March. We'll be ready by then.
Yeah, the Roosters' first game over the SCG. That's going to be a cracker, and I can't wait.
Thanks, mate. All the best. Back to you, Vossi.
Yeah, well, I'm with Willie Peters, South Sydney born and bred, in fact, right out of Matraville, playing for the Dragons tonight against the club that you followed as a kid. You must have had some sort of mixed feelings going into tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a South Sydney junior and I played a few senior games at South. It's great to see them back. I'm very happy about it, and it was good playing tonight. I think they'll go very well this year.
Well, from a Dragons perspective, a lot to be pleased about tonight. It was a very, I guess you'd call, competent performance. There was plenty of drop ball, but that's to be expected.
Yeah, first trial, there's always drop ball. We had a squad of 20, so I think we're going to cut it down to 17 against Melbourne, but we're pretty pleased how we played, and I'm sure South are as well.
And first shot at the number 7 jumper again this year, out to make it yours?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm hoping to make it mine this year.
All right, thanks, Willie.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Yeah, well, with me, I've got grand final hero Glenn Grief. Grief, the last time he played in the game, it was in front of a big crowd like this. How do you compare the build-up for a trial match?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, for the whole week, it was similar to last year's grand final. It was great. I mean, the supporters are all out, so it was just a great night.
We can't forget it is the very first time this team's played together against a fairly formidable opponent. St George made the semis last year, and we've got to be proud of ourselves.
I think so. It's been a long year for us. I mean, we've had to do a lot of work in the off-season. We've recruited really well, and I think it showed tonight that the hard work that we have done over the past 4 or 5 months is paying off, and I think the longer the year goes and the more football we play together, we can only get better.
Thanks, mate. I think you're right there.
Okay, Glenn Grief there with Sean Garlick and Andrew Voss getting through quite a few of the personalities. Now it's time for the presentation of the 2002 Charity Shield. Here's David.
Well, there may have been some drop ball early in that game, but there's no doubt it ended up being a magnificent contest and a terrific advertisement for rugby league. 20 points all between the St George Illawarra Dragons and the South Sydney Rabbitohs. By virtue of that draw, and given the fact that South Sydney won the last game in 1999, the Rabbitohs retain the Charity Shield. It's my great pleasure to introduce a representative of the major sponsor, Star City. I refer to the General Manager of Sales and Marketing. Please welcome Stuart Wing.
Thank you very much.
What an amazing game. Star City is absolutely delighted to be associated with this premier event, and in fact, the opening of the NRL season. Tremendous contest, and I'd like to call on Trent Barrett of St George Illawarra to come up and say a few words on behalf of his team. Trent Barrett, the captain. Thank you. Thanks. Just on behalf of St George Illawarra and our fans, firstly, I'd like to congratulate Souths on being back in the competition. I think it's great for rugby league. And to the South Sydney fans, well done. You're stuck with it and you're back, and it's great to see you all here today. And to our fans, the Dragons, thanks for coming out. Thank you very much. And who gets to keep this? Thank you. And now it gives me great pleasure on behalf of Star City to call on Adam Muir, the captain of South Sydney Rabbitohs, to accept the trophy. Congratulations.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the South Sydney supporters that came tonight, and all the ones that couldn't come to, the ones that are at home and the pubs watching them. You were the real reason why we're back in this competition, so I thank you very much. Also, I'd like to thank people like George Biggins, Nick Pappas. They did so much for 2.5 years, and they must be just that happy. And just want to say thanks very much to George and Nick and everyone else that did anything to get this club back in the competition. And also, I'd like to thank the boys tonight. It was our first game tonight together. We've been training for 4 months now, and what we did tonight was really good, but the best thing about it is, people, we're going to get a lot better, so we're in for a big year. And also, I'd like to thank Star City for making this game possible tonight. Thanks very much, Star City.
Well, there he is, the South Sydney captain, Adam Muir, and that represents the 19th Charity Shield. And just for the record, that was the 3rd drawn result. St George now have won 11 of them, South 5, and the draws are at 3. But South retain the Charity Shield with this drawn result tonight. We will take a break, and on the other side of it, Peter and Paul will be back, and they'll wrap it up from here at the Aussie Stadium. Stay with us.
Location, location. Now on a new night from 7 o'clock Sunday.
On the series return, a challenging makeover.
No, stop, no.
This time, it's for a worthy cause.
Location, location returns 7 o'clock Sunday on 9.
I made your coffee.
Oh, no, thanks, Barbara. I've got an early.
What's with all the new gear?
What?
Who are you trying to impress?
Oh, do you like them?
Yeah, it's nice.
Look, I've got to go, love.
Bye.
Somalia, 1993.
RPG! We took a hit! 6-1 is going down.
100 soldiers found themselves surrounded by 5,000 rebel fighters.
We got a man down!
The only thing more incredible than the odds was how they triumphed.
Come on!
Black Hawk Down.
Advanced screenings this weekend.
Seen one Nappy Sand commercial. You've seen them all, haven't you? Here's a surprise. It's liquid. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Now, have you used this one?
Yes, I use it all the time. Just brightens up the clothes, freshens them up.
Oh, it's a great time saver because we just put the Nappy Sand liquid straight in with the wash. I don't use bleach at all.
Why not?
I find that just sort of eats into the garments, whereas Nappy Sand, it's beautiful. It's very gentle on your garment.
Liquid Nappy Sand will give you the power of Nappy Sand in every wash.
I just don't take my laundry that seriously.
You know, he works all the time. I don't get to see him. And then this morning he just walks in with this brand new work outfit that I've never seen before. I mean, he never cares what he looks like at work. maybe I'm being paranoid. But
You know what next weekend is?
Yeah, it's tonight's Parramatta game.
No. How about March 31st?
Tigers comeback match with the Swans.
That's my birthday. How about April 20?
The Rabbitohs game.
That's your birthday. And next weekend is our anniversary.
Then I should have got 2 tickets to the game.
Plan your sporting weekends with a Sunday Telegraph's free glossy 12-month ultimate footy calendar. Only in this weekend's Sunday Telegraph.
Sunday Telegraph.
Are you looking for the easy way to be a Survivor winner? Grab a Lay's, Doritos, Solo or Pepsi, and you could win. Simply check under the cap, tab or scratch your game card for your chance to win millions of instant prizes. It's the easy way to win. So grab your favorite snack or drink and you could be a Survivor winner.
I don't know what her problem is. I buy this new gear to make the business look more professional, and this morning she says to me, "Who are you trying to impress?" It's like she thinks I'm having an affair.
Wednesday, it's as real as it gets.
Freezing cold, boiling hot.
And tougher than they could imagine.
I'm sad, I'm nervous.
You won't believe what's around the corner. All new Australian Survivor, 8:30 Wednesday on 9.
The third draw tonight in 19 Charity Shield matches between the Rabbitohs and the Dragons. 20 all this evening. The Rabbitohs, King, Groves, McKinnon and McLean all crossed. McLean kicking 2 goals. And for the Dragons, Kite, Hookie, Thompson and Blacklock all got 4-pointers. Mark Riddell kicked 2 from 2. On a night, Paul Borton, with trial matches, it's very easy for them to lose their interest because they, blow out score lines and there is a lot of mistakes in them. But tonight, the longer the game went, it actually got better.
It did get better, and I think both coaches tonight can take a lot out of this game. Andrew Farrow's team controlled the game for most of the match until Trent Barrett was given a rest, and they faltered a little. But Craig Coleman, he should be ecstatic with what his team did tonight. For players to come from all over other clubs to form this team and for them to produce that tonight, he'll be very, very happy. I mean, the fullback was great, wasn't he, McKinnon, and spoke very well too for a young bloke. The wingers got plenty of pace with Gross and Mostyn, and the forwards just kept going all night. South Sydney in for a great year.
Yeah, I think the big question mark tonight was, the depth of the South Sydney side. But the guys that came off the bench, they did a good job.
They used about 20 players. You got players on the bench of the likes of Pullatua and McGilvray, all good players, McNicholas. South Sydney, I think they'll surprise a lot of teams this year.
Well, you mentioned the good players. Let's go to Andrew Voss and find out who is tonight's man of the match.
And it's the Star City man of the match tonight. Wins a night at Star City. They treat him like royalty, and it's gone to the youngest member of the South squad tonight, their fullback Wade McKinnon. First game in the top grade from Parramatta. I mean, this is an extraordinary night.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Massive crowd. Boys have just been waiting for it all week, and just happy to come out here and play. And look on the scoreboard, 20-all draw. Enough more could ask for.
Well, Wade, just a bit about yourself. It wasn't as if you weren't happy at Parramatta, but you just wanted that opportunity to play first grade. Yeah,
I was happy at Parramatta, but South's come through. Tugger said he was going to give me the shot at first grade, and he's done that, and I'm grateful for it. And we're going to have a big one this year.
Wade, watching from the sidelines, as we got into that last 10-15 minutes of the match, it seems that the players started to learn a bit about, you could call it South Sydney spirit. Suddenly the hit-ups of Glenn Grieve, Paul Stringer were a little bit more ferocious, stiffer victory there. That you learnt plenty about the red and green jumper tonight.
Oh yeah, the crowd lifted us through, but I just think the boys, as we played, we got to know each other through the night, and we've just come home.
We look forward to seeing plenty of you this year, and look forward to a good night at Star City as well. Wade, well done tonight.
Thanks, thanks Star City in Channel 9.
Good on you, Wade.
He's a very impressive young man, and he really does look at home up in the top grade. He was great tonight for the Red and Greens, but what about for St George? Really, Barrett is the man, isn't he?
He's a standout now. You can't say they're a one-man team, but Andrew Farrow needs to decide early in the year who the halfback's going to be so he can form a combination with either might be Willard Peters or Kieran Kerr. They need to get a good combination there. He's got the outside men to work with, of course, with the likes of Gasnier and Blacklock, and Trent Barrett is once again set for another great year.
Yeah, I think both coaches will be fairly happy tonight. You mentioned Craig Coleman. Let's see what he's got to say to Andrew Voss.
Well, Craig, the long wait is over. First match is now by the by. A coach's assessment. Happy with the night?
Yeah, very happy. We turned over a lot of ball, but it's our first run together and first game of the season. There's certainly a bit of improvement there.
What happened there right at the finish? Message didn't get out to halfway?
Mate. Poor Jamie had a bit of a brain explosion, mate, but it's only a trial. It won't hurt us.
I can imagine your heart was pounding almost through your chest just before kickoff tonight.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was just good to see the boys out there playing, and we got a great turnout for them, like 36,000 or so, and it was just good to get a run under our belts and thank all them people who supported us over the last 2 years.
And Craig, now from your point of view and the club's point of view, is you've got to bottle this and reproduce this sort of atmosphere, this buzz that is with the team.
Yeah, Aussie, but from day one I said to these guys that there's never an excuse to quit, and they certainly took that on board, and they showed that famous South Sydney spirit tonight, so I'm very proud of them.
All right, Craig, great to have you back and great to have the Rabbits back.
Thanks a lot.
He's always got plenty to say, Craig Coleman. All of it will be good aimed at his players tonight after this 20-all draw with the Dragons. We'll take a break now and come back to wrap it up here at the Aussie Stadium.
Tuesday on 9 from 7:30. You won't believe what these guys have to go through to win 50 grand. All Australia. The series premiere of Fear Factor. At 8:30, Man versus Gravity.
Man lost. This is suicide. Then why are you here, Sheriff?
An all-new CSI.
Then
It's the fetal heartbeat.
she's pregnant, alone and looking for answers in an emotion-charged stinger.
Still the One, Tuesday on 9.
Solo, low on fizz, so you can slam it down fast.
It can happen at any time. You're building a bridge or moving a fridge and you feel like you're just gonna burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. You're shoveling sand or building a dam. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
What was that for?
You know what day it is today. Bye! You look as good today as the day I met you. Oh, thank you.
Okay, I give up. What day is it?
It's Wednesday.
99% fat-free Special K to keep you looking good.
Coming soon on 9, the 44th Annual TV Week Logie Awards. Proudly sponsored by B, Clear and Simple. Now is your chance to vote for your favourite programmes and personalities. Look for the official voting form in this week's TV Week and you could be a winner. There are 2 luxury holiday packages to win at Crown Towers, Melbourne, including your chance to mingle with the stars at the TV Week Logie Awards. TV Week on sale now.
The feeling is familiar. The car isn't.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
The Mazda Estina SP20.
Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah.
Same feeling.
Zoom, zoom.
New form.
Not much happens this time of the year.
Except at Carpet Court.
It's our summer sellout.
Look at this pure wool carpet. Timber and vinyls as well.
Yep, it's all got to go.
Well, don't take too long.
You'll see the difference.
Our difference.
Carpet Court, we are the difference.
Who will survive? If you're with Telstra Mobile, you can get the latest info with Survivor Insider News. Just SMS survivor.on to 176. Plus, you could win tickets to the final show to see this year's #1 Survivor.
Coming up, the All Guns Blazing Sam Peckinpah Classic, complete and uncut. William Holden and Ernest Borgnine star in the Wild Bunch, next on 9.
An exciting finish to tonight's Charity Shield between the Dragons and the Rabbitohs. They look like they've done enough, the Dragons. In the end, 20-all, with South Sydney retaining the trophy. That, of course, whets the appetite for the season proper. In a month's time, we go to the Sydney Cricket Ground on Friday night, March 15, for the Rabbitohs up against the Roosters. And then on Sunday, in fact, both of tonight's combatants are involved in television matches. The Dragons take on the Sharks back here at the Aussie Stadium, Sunday the 17th of March. That's at 4 p.m. Do check your local guides for both of those games. Great night here, 36,000 fans going away very happy with the kind of football they've seen tonight. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage, but for now, on behalf of the Channel 9 crew from Aussie Stadium, it's a very good night.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.